Hi there. So today I'm going to show you how to wear a brown lipstick. And the lipstick I'm going to use is called Antique Velvet from MAC. And it's a really dark chocolate brown. So it looks like this. I actually got the idea for this video from my friend who actually originally owned this lipstick, but she ended up decluttering it and giving it to me because she didn't know how to wear it. And only later, when she saw me wearing it, did she say, like, oh, I wish I knew how to pull off this kind of brown lipstick because it looks so good on you. I wish I had given it more of a go. So I thought, well, this is a good video idea. Maybe there's other people out there who just don't know how to wear a dark brown lipstick if they're more of a pale complexion like me. So let me start and get right into it. I'm going to start by putting on a lip balm because this particular brown lipstick is quite matte and quite drying. So it always helps to start with a lip balm. And this is just an old lip balm I'm trying to use up. And then when you're doing quite a bold lip color, whether it's brown or anything else, I really recommend keeping the rest of the makeup quite minimal. You might think that doing a more loud makeup would make this more wearable, but actually it has the opposite effect. You want to keep the other parts of the makeup minimal but precise. So let me show you. I think brows are actually the most important because if you have a bold lip color on, but your brows are quite sparse and patchy, I find that that can look a little strange. So usually I keep my brows quite natural, but when I know I'm going to put on a loud lip color, I actually fill them in just a little bit more. You don't have to do giant block brows, but just make sure that your brows are quite neat and filled in. The brows and the lips are actually, I think, the thing that has to be the most in balance, usually. I just used an e.l.f. brow pencil that is very similar to the natural color of my brows. So it does look still quite natural, but as you can see, those blank parts at the end of my brows have now been filled in. So actually, it looks a little bit strange now, right, to have my brows so full and the rest of my face blank. And what will balance that out is a dark lip color. It's totally fine in this case to not wear any eyeshadow at all, but if you do, choose to go with something that is a gold or champagne color. So this is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea palette, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of gold, copper, champagne type of colors. And these are a little bit more on the gold warm side, and actually you'll be able to see what matches best when you hold the lipstick up against the different colors. So maybe like the gold at the top goes well, maybe this one here. I really recommend either the lipstick, or if the lipstick is very different colored when it's swatched, then hold a swatch of the lipstick up to the different eyeshadows and see what really matches. But I don't recommend wearing very heavy eye makeup when you're going to wear a bold lip. Then it can look a little bit overdone. So I'm going to take this color, the color Compass, on a concealer brush and just lightly apply it on my lid. And like I said, this is totally unnecessary. It's only if you would like to have some eyeshadow on. I usually do because I'm usually using up a highlighter or an eyeshadow as part of my Project Pan projects. But I think, sometimes I actually even prefer the look of a dark lipstick with just mascara. For eyeliner, no matter what type of eyeliner you choose, the important thing is to keep it minimal. So I'm going to use this just brown colored eyeliner. It's a pencil liner, and it looks like this, which you might notice is actually quite similar to the lipstick color. So I like that, and I think it will tie in nicely. But if you're using a black liquid liner, that's fine. I would keep the wing quite minimal. But if you are going to like an evening party or something, it really depends. Like, how are you trying to wear this lipstick? If you're using it for an evening event, then keep the eyeliner quite large and exciting. But if you are trying to wear this type of lipstick during the day, I would recommend almost no liner or just a little bit of pencil liner. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm just going to try to keep it close to the lashes. and just quite thin. Okay, so I finished up the liner, and as you can see, it's really nothing that exciting. This brown liner actually has a little bit of shimmer, if you can tell. Like, it's not straight brown, it's brown with like a little bit of gold glitter in it. And I think that will look really nice with the lipstick as well. So yeah, that's all it is. And now I'm going to mascara like usual. And I'll probably also put concealer as usual as well. So nothing exciting here. The mascara I'm using is the Liquid Lash Extensions from Thrive Cosmetics. I got it in an Ipsy bag and I'm really enjoying it. And actually, before I put on concealer, I am going to put on blush. I did want to say, when you're doing brown lipstick, the most important thing is not blush. I would say it's bronzer. So you can actually skip blush if you think your blush might not go with the lipstick. I am going to put on just a nice little liquid blush. This is the Dear Darling tint. I actually have a video reviewing this if you'd like to see it. This is just a nice little tint, and I don't think it will go badly. It looks quite natural once it dries down. And then I actually put on my blush before my concealer because I keep my concealer quite tight to my eyes, and I like to set as soon as I put down the concealer. So if I do that first and then I do the blush, sometimes the blush and the powder will not mix very well. So yeah, I learned to do my blush first, even though I'm sure that's not what other people do. So just very minimal with my concealer, but concealer and powder like you normally do. It really doesn't matter for the lipstick. I'm just using a little Kat Von D sample. It's actually not my favorite powder. My favorite is the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish. And now that I have powdered, the next thing I'm going to do is my contour, which I think is important. If you have a hard time pulling off dark lipsticks, it might be that you need to contour. So sometimes if you're just looking too pale, it's like a giant pale like face with like just like a dark thing in the middle. It looks a little bit off. But when you add a bit of contour or bronzer, I mean, you might find that it looks a lot more natural on you. So this is an important step. I wouldn't skip it if you are pale and you're trying to pull off a dark lipstick. If you're not pale, then I'm sure this won't matter as much for you. I'm using the Butter Bronzer, and I actually have a hard time blending this. I think it only blends very nicely on top of powders. So I actually don't love this product. I think I'm the only one who doesn't love the Butter Bronzer. I just find it doesn't blend very well on my skin. So I have to like be a little aggressive with it. So that's what I'm gonna do. If you're not sure where to contour, what I do is like suck in and then kind of draw a line with your finger up to your middle of your ear. Now you can feel underneath your cheekbone, and that's where it should be placed, and then just blend like crazy all up your face. And I find that looks good for me. Yeah. But I have other bronzers that just work a lot better than this one, unfortunately. Like, I hope I'm not the only one. Really, I feel like I'm the only person in the world who does not love this bronzer. Like, I don't understand everybody's fascination with it. It's actually not even that cheap in the drugstore. At least not in Canada. I've seen it for like $20. And this bronzer is just not worth $20. Okay, so that's the contour done. And I'm actually going to use the same highlight that I used on my eyes on my cheeks. And I think that just gives that really nice, effortless look when you're using similar products. So that was the shade Compass from this palette. So I'm just gonna, just a little bit. I don't bring it down too much. And if you're not a highlight person, you can skip this. I think the one you couldn't skip really is the bronzer for the dark lip. I mean, in terms of doing dark lip as a makeup, blush and highlight is not as important as doing the contour. And then I just go over this and I make sure everything blends using my powder brush. This is a stiff highlight, so you really have to blend hard. And then can you see the highlight? I think it looks quite nice, right? All right, and that's it. We're ready to move on to the brown lipstick finally. It's very important at this point to take off the lip balm, because if you don't take off the lip balm and you're wearing a lipstick like this one, it will just slide around and you won't get the type of wear that you want out of a lip like this. When you're wearing a brown lipstick, you really don't want a formula that's too creamy, because when you're wearing a dark lipstick and it starts to wear off in the middle, it's very noticeable and very unattractive. So you want a more long-wearing formula. It doesn't mean it has to be a liquid lip. This one stayed on for a very, very long time using it the way that I used it. So let me show you how I used it. So yeah, take off the lip balm, or just blot it off. You don't have to rub it off, but just blot off the excess lip balm. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is take either a brown pencil liner. So this is the one that I used on my eyes. Oh, it's from the Face Shop, by the way. So that's this liner, eyeliner. Or if you don't have a brown pencil liner, I have a dark red, and I actually used this last time and it worked perfectly fine. So if you have a dark red, a brown, any sort of lip liner or eyeliner, I think black might be a little bit too harsh, but ideally if you have a brown eyeliner, it will work perfectly fine. So that's actually what I'm going to use today. The last time I used the red, and if you use red, just make sure you cover the edges of the lip liner with the lipstick, and then it should be fine. It wore all day and it looked perfectly fine on me. So let me go ahead and take this brown liner and then lip line. And just follow the natural curves of your lips. If you don't have very obvious curves in your lips, it might take a little bit of practice trying it different ways to see what looks best on your lips. I find that you can overline on the bottom here, but when it comes to the top, overlining looks very obvious on me because of the way that my lips are. So it really does depend on your lip shape. But to start off, it's safe to kind of just follow your lips. Just like that. And it's just about taking your time. If you try to rush this, it's not going to work. So just take your time. At this point, I like to blot. Or not blot, but press my lips together. And if it's a creamy lip liner, then it will transfer. But this one is not. Like, you can see how well it stays. And it stays that well on your eyes too. So it's a very good lip eyeliner. And then I start here. And then I bring it up. Like I said, on the bottom, I overline just the tiniest bit. So on the top, I stayed within the line like this. And on the bottom, I kind of went underneath it. So this is what the lined lips look like. Again, take your time with this. All right, and next I'm going to go with my first layer of the brown lipstick. And like I said, this is MAC Antique Velvet. Another option, if you're really hard pressed and you don't have any eyeliners or lip liners that would work, is to take a lip brush or a angled eyeliner brush and go into the lipstick and then draw the line with the lipstick. I actually recommend eyeliners or lip liners more though, because if it's a creamy lipstick, that's not really going to work, because if you line the lips with a creamy lipstick, it's still going to smudge and run. But with a lipstick like this, you could totally do that. Can you see how like matte and dry it is? And when you blot it, not that much even comes off, you see? So it is actually quite a long wear formula. These MAC ones, it's the matte lipstick from MAC. Like, they are actually quite long wearing. But they are dry, so that's why it's important to use a lip balm. And if you have dry lips, even use a lip scrub, or use sugar and coconut oil or something like that, and just scrub your lips, or with a toothbrush. Just get that dead skin off, because this will cling to it. All right, so that's the first layer of the lipstick. And if you're looking in a mirror and it's looking weird at this stage, don't worry, because I have a trick for you that will make it look a lot better. Now, as you can see, that brown eyeliner did work quite well, but there are some gaps. See how it's wonky there? So just go back over and try to make this a nice line. And take your time, and don't worry if it's not looking amazing right away. Now what you need to do, and I know this is strange, but actually take your ring finger and blur the edges just a tiny bit. And you just have to trust me on this one. Actually, it might help to blot first. Sometimes I blot after, but. So blot the lipstick. And then with a ring finger, just go over the edges slightly. And this makes it look a lot more natural. Especially the darker the color, the more important it is to do this. Because I'll tell you why, and it's because when you're using just a dark color, it's like an eyeliner, it's very graphic. And when you put it on your lips, it can look very artificial and just like uncomfortable to look at, because it doesn't feel like it's part of your face. It feels like it's this like graphic thing on your face. So when you blur the edges a little bit, it looks a little bit more lived in and a little bit more comfortable and natural to your face. While I'm blurring the edges, actually, I think I'm going to take some of that highlighter and highlight the Cupid's bow as well. So again, using the same color I used here and on my eyes. And make sure you blur that as well. I really don't like when I see people, or when I see myself, like I shouldn't say, I don't judge other people's makeup too much, but when I see that I've put Cupid's bow highlight and I haven't blended it well, it can look very awkward. So yeah, and you really can't do this too much. Like if you, like don't swipe it all over your face, but if you blur a little bit too much, it's fine, because like I'm going to show you, we're going to reapply the lipstick. So now that it's nice and blurred, can you see it looks a lot more natural? Like, oh, it's just me, I just wear brown lipstick every day. Like this is my everyday look, like you see? And then just to amp up the color a little bit, oh, another layer, especially on the inside. Of the lips. And then if you need to, blur a second time. And then make sure, it's very important, there's no lipstick on your teeth. And I think I'm good. A trick that I've heard as well is take a finger and go like that, and then all the lipstick that could have been on your teeth will end up on your finger. So that's a good one to do as well. And then if it is too shiny, blot a second time. This one doesn't really need to be blotted a second time, but I will, because it's good practice. And barely anything came off. This is a very good matte lipstick. And then now you should be able to drink, you should be able to talk, and this lipstick will not wear off very easily. So unless it is a very slidey, moist lipstick, this should last all night. And bring this to touch up. But the other thing about doing this with the blurred edges is that as you eat and you drink over the course of the night or the day, you don't need to do all of these steps again because the edges will still be fine. So you just have to reapply in the middle. So it makes it very easy to wear. So let me take my hair out. I'll probably get dressed. I don't think I'm going to be wearing this today, but I think this is such a beautiful fall look, and I would wear this during the day just fine. So this is more of a daytime brown lipstick look for me. So I could go around in the daytime, especially in the fall, with this. What do you think? Would you wear this every day? And if I was going to do a more nighttime look, I would use a inky black liquid liner, larger wing, and maybe a little bit of gold glitter. Yeah, so that's how to wear a brown lipstick. Let me know your thoughts below, and please subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.